Hi, so in elements of communication, again, we have the sender, message, medium or channel, receiver, feedback, and noise. So in noise, it is the interference that disrupts the communication. So, what are the types of interference that is affecting our communication? So we have two. First one is the internal interference and external interference. So internal interference arises from the speaker, such as hunger or not feeling well or wandering thoughts, such things like that. And in external interference, it originates from the environment, like the noise or some other distractions. Okay. Five, we discussed that verbal and nonverbal communication. So verbal communication is about the direct message delivery. It uses words. And nonverbal communication is about interpretation and actions. Okay? There are two types of verbal communication, formal and informal communication. Informal communication, it follows a predefined channel, like for example, emails, text messages, letters, like that. Those are the examples. Now we have informal communication. Informal communication doesn't follow a predefined channel, like for example, face-to-face chatting. Okay, so they're moving from text and then they're chatting face to face. What what type of verbal communication should be used? So we have two ways in communicating. We have oral communication and written communication. So in oral communication, it is effective for immediate feedback and personal interaction because you talk orally, like face to face. And in written communication, it is suitable for formal records and detailed information because it goes through a predefined channel, like for email, letters, and messages. Okay. Alright, now we're down with nonverbal communication types. We have six. So we have chronemics, vocalics, haptics, kinesics, proxemics, and artifacts. So chronemics is about time. So like for example, you're always late. So people might think that you're not interested or you don't value your time. But when you show on time or you're punctual, it shows that you have respect and you are reliable. Okay, so those are the examples for chronemics. It uses time. In vocalics, it's about the tone, the volume, and the pitch of your voice. So like for example, you say hello, 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 like that. So those three different tones of hello can sound or can send different messages. Okay, so this tells people how you feel without saying anything. Okay, that is vocalics. In haptics naman, this is about touch, all about touch, a handshake, a hug, or a pat on the back. Okay, so when you communicate using touch, so it can give an incredible impact. So because it shows warmth, care, and sometimes it can show your dominance. So example, is there a time that you receive a hug when you're feeling down or a high five when you did a great job? Okay, so that is under all haptics. Kinesics refers to the body language, gestures, posture, and facial expression. So, a smile can show that you are friendly, but a crossed arm can show that you are upset or defensive. So, in just simply standing or sitting, you can emit a message. Okay? So, like for example, take a look about your posture right now. So are you sitting upright or are you slouching? So the body position that you shows now says about your mood. Okay, so if you're slouching, you feel lazy. You're sitting upright, you're excited, and you're very excited to learn something new. In proxemics, it is about the space between us. So the distance that we maintain in a conversation. Example, standing too close might feel invasive, or staying too far might seem you're not interested or distant. Okay? So that is for proxemics. It's all about distance. In artifacts naman, so finally, we're in artifacts. So artifacts are about the things that we wear or carry. So your clothes, accessories, and even the way you decorate your space. So these things can say a lot about you. So who you are and how you want to be perceived. So that is for artifacts. So example is the style that you like. Does it reflect your personality or your cool jacket or a clean cut? So those can make statement about you even without speaking. So that is nonverbal communication is about. Okay. So wrap things up. Nonverbal communication is a powerful tool because it is more than words. So it uses our time, our voice, body language, space, and even the things that we wear communicate our feelings. Okay, so next time pay attention to these cues because you can spot it you can spot it whenever you're talking to someone. Okay. In effective communication skills, we have this discussed earlier. Now let's move to the next one. The elements of effective communication. So have you ever tried explaining something? So and then the other person doesn't get it. So maybe you're speaking in circles or you're speaking too complicated. So today we're going to fix that and we're going to break down how to make our communication clear and effective. Okay? So we have the 7 C's checklist, the effective communication. We have clarity. So first, communication must be clear. So you need to keep your main idea simple. Okay? So you need to avoid complex words or extra details. Next is be concise. No one wants to hear a long story when they just need the facts. So you need to get to the point instead of saying too information. Okay, so you need to keep it brief and without extra anything. So when we're concrete naman, we use specific details. Example, I want the report done soon. It's kind of broad, like when soon. Instead, say I need a report by 3 p.m. today. So it gives clarity. Okay? So you need to use specific facts, numbers, and examples to be concrete. So in being correct naman, you need to avoid typos or grammatical mistakes. So if you're telling someone that I has the report ready, so they could be confused. Instead, you need to say I have the report ready. Okay? So in here, you need to be accurate. So in grammar and in the facts that you provide. Next, we have coherent. So your message must flow. If you're talking about a project, you need to jump from point A, B, and C, and D. Okay? So example, here's what we've done so far. We need to focus to, you need to move from A, B, C, and D. So this needs to ensure that everything is connecting logically. Being complete naman means giving all the necessary information. So when you invite someone to a meeting, you need to say, let's meet let's meet 2 p.m. in the conference room, and then we'll discuss our new project. Okay? So you need to include everything they need to know: the date, the time, the place, and the purpose of the meeting. So lastly, we have you need to be courteous. So politeness makes your message better. So instead saying I need this report by 3 p.m., you can say, could you have can you finish the report by 3 p.m. today? Thanks. Diba? It shows, when you are polite, it shows respect and kindness. Okay? Okay. So that is all for courtesy. So overall, the 7 C's in your communication toolkit, we have clear, concise, concrete, correct, coherent, complete, and courteous, are the simple and easy to remember. So you need to apply them for you to have for you to communicate effectively every time. Okay? Let's move to understanding the cultural concepts and barriers. Okay, so now we're going to discuss further the understanding cultural concepts and the barriers. So I know things move fast, but we need to do it, and this is essential for understanding how to communicate with other people from different backgrounds. So the meaning of enculturation is learning and adapting the culture norms and values of one's own culture. Enculturation. So like for example, growing up in a Filipino family, you're taught to respect by saying po and opo. So that is enculturation. You learn your own culture. Okay, in ethnocentrism, it means that the belief that one's culture is superior to others. Okay, like for example, you travel to other country, culture shock ka. That is ethnocentrism because you believe that your own culture is better than any other culture. That is ethnocentrism. Example, ayun na, when you travel to other countries. So, stereotyping. So, it means oversimplified and generalized beliefs about a group of people. Stereotyping. It is about assuming similarity. So, example, you assume that all students who wear glasses are nerdy. Okay, so that is stereotyping. So, you assume similarity. Okay, example, so ask your classmate to think of a stereotype that they've heard. Okay? Example, lahat ng mga dark color yung skin eta, ganon, tinatawag niya na negra, di ba? So that is just one example. Prejudice. Okay, let's move to prejudice. Prejudice meaning is judging someone based on their accent before speaking to them. Prejudice. So different communication codes. So this is about a negative attitude toward a preconceived notions, like the judging from their accent. So that is prejudice. So judging them without speaking to them. Okay. So that is the cultural concepts and barriers. So now that we have covered these topics, let's think about how they affect us daily. So do these ideas show up in our school or in your community? So think of an example where someone misunderstood you, or you misunderstood someone because of their culture. Okay. So to end this, it is important to recognize that cultural differences and avoid letting barriers like ethnocentrism or prejudice cloud our judgment. Okay? We need to approach every interaction with an open mind. Yeah, it's correct. And always remember that understanding these barriers will help you communicate with others in the wider environment. Okay, so again, we are done with the nature and elements of communication. So let's have a summary. So verbal communication, what are the process in communication? So we have the sender, the message, medium, receiver, feedback, and the noise. So in the noise or interference, it has two types: internal interference and external interference. So internal is within the speaker, external is with the environment. Next, we have verbal and nonverbal communication. Verbal communication has two types: formal communication and informal communication. And verbal communication can be done in two ways: oral and written. Okay, so in nonverbal communication, we have six types of nonverbal communication. So those are, wait, let me check. All right, there. Nonverbal communication has six types: the chronemics, which is about the time; vocalics, volume, tone, and pitch of voice; haptics, touch; kinesics, body language; proxemics, distance; and last one, artifacts, is about the appearance or the personality. Okay. Next is effective communication skills. In effective communication skills, we have the 7 C's: correct, clarity, conciseness, correctness, concreteness, correctness, coherence, completeness, and courtesy. And last is the cultural concepts that we discussed is the enculturation, which is about your own culture; ethnocentrism, the culture shock, and you think that your own culture is better than other; stereotyping is assuming similarity; and prejudice is judging other culture without even knowing them first.